Welcome to the Fire Mountain Gems and Beads video studio. Today's project is right angle weave, also known as RAW. A right angle weave is such a versatile and useful stitch. I think everybody should know how to do this, and there's so many ways to embellish and go crazy with it, but this is a basic right angle weave or raw stitch. And you'll see it in lots of beading magazines too. It'll just say, make some right angle weave stitch, and you better know how to do it. Okay. It's basically, the two important things to remember with right angle weave is squares and hide your thread. If you remember those things and you can't remember my instructions, you should still be able to make right angle weave. It all starts with a square. Oh, and by the way, I am using these very big beads, and that's so you can see it easily, but this can be made small and dainty in any way you like, with whatever beads you like. We're going to start with these big beads though, and I'm going to start by making a square. And I'm using two colors. It makes it a little easier for you to see. I've got a square. I need 4 beads. Aha! 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll just alternate the pinks and the blues. Okay, there's my 4 beads. On this other end, I could have put a bead stopper, or I could make a stop bead or whatever, but I don't think it's absolutely essential. I'm just going to go through one more of the beads to make this into a squared off circle. It's really only square because I've used oval shaped beads, but there's our first square. Okay, this is our tail. This is the piece that's going to be used to add your clasp or finish it in whatever way you want to finish it. So I want that tail on this side, on my left side, and I want my working end coming out my right side. So I'm going to actually go through one more bead just to put this on the opposite side of my tail so I don't get confused. All right, there is the first square of my right angle weave. And we've got a bunch of right angles. Aha. So our next square, we've already got one side of the square built in. So we only need to add 3 more beads for the square. The next bead is going to be right here, so it's going to be one of the pink ones. So we need a pink one, a blue one, and a pink one. And we're going to make a square. This is one side of the square, so we're going to go back through this one and pull all of these tight. Da, 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 da. Oh, looky, another square. Isn't that amazing? Right angle weave. We're making lots and lots of right angles. But now our working thread's coming out the side. We don't want that. So we have to work through a few beads to get it back out to where we want it. So I'll go through this bead. Now logic says that we're making another square here, so we need 3 more sides. But I don't want to go from here, because then I would be showing off too much of my thread, because there would be a straight line from here to the next bead. So right angle. We're going to make this thread that's currently going this way. We want it to go at a right angle. We want to go through one more bead. So those are the 2 cues, remember. Make squares and hide as much thread as you can. Now we can add our 3 sides, and we're going to be going at a right angle. The next line is going to be at right angles to the last one. Ta-da! So a pink, a blue, and a pink. Magenta, whatever you want to call this. There's the other 3 sides, making a right angle into this bead right here. There's my working thread, there's my right angle. Ta-da! Now this is a single row of right angle weave. And this is a beautiful pattern just like this. In fact, that's how this bracelet was made, is right angle weave. And in this case, I used a stretchy cord. And there you go. Cool. That's a single row of right angle weave. Let's do one more square of that so you can make sure you're in the right place. So my thread's coming out the side. That's not where I want it. I want it to come out the top. I want to make a square. So I'm asking you, should I add my beads now? No. No, I don't want to add my beads now because then my beads would go straight across. That is not a right angle. I want to go through this bead first. Make the right angle, hide the thread. Because if you went straight across, there'd be a lot of thread showing. But we're going to go at a right angle. Aha, now my working thread can make my working thread, which is going this way, can make a right angle and go up that way with a pink, a blue, and one more pink. There's my square. Here's my right angle. Don't call it right angle weave for nothing. Keep catching on the corner of my table. There we go. Okay, so this is your basic single strand right angle weave like my bracelet. We want to make a double strand. We want it wider. We want a wider bracelet. So let's figure out how to do that. Right now I'm coming out this side here and I want to make a square here. This will be my square right here. So if I came straight across like this, I wouldn't be hiding my thread well. So I need to make a right angle and go up here. I want to hide the thread. And also keep your tension as tight as you can. It's a little hard with these big beads. With smaller beads, it's easier. But yeah, keep your tension nice and tight. Okay, now I can make a right angle weave, and I'm going to use 3 beads. So I want blue this direction and pink that direction. So I need a blue, a pink, and just keep visualizing those squares. Even when you're using round beads, just visualize squares. And that will make this weave so much easier for you. And if one of the holes is plugged up, turn it over. There we go. Pink. There we go. Pink. Where was I going? Oh, it's going. Oh, don't want to turn you around. There we go. So there's my square that's going to be off to the side to make my single row wider. Now, where does this working thread go? Right angle. So we're going to go up through this bead to complete the square. Keeping all your tension tight. Up through there, and there we've completed our square. Now our next square to continue the pattern is going to be here. Dun dun. So my thread, my working thread's way up here. I got to get down there. So I'm going to go through this bead. Keeping my tension tight. I'm going to go through this bead. Okay, now I'm down where I need to be, but if I added a bead right here, added another pink bead right here, I would not be making a right angle, and a lot of this thread would show. I cannot add a bead yet. I have to make another right angle, go down through this bead, and through this bead, and now I'm ready to add the other 2 sides of this square. So this is going to be the blue and the pink. And down with a right angle. See, I'm going this direction. Right angle down through this blue. So truly, don't need to remember many rules here except squares and hide the thread. And now I need to come out over here because this is where the 2 sides are going to be. Got schmoozies. And so I'm going to go through this pink bead And again, I want to hide the thread. So if I went straight across here, a lot of thread would show. I don't want to go straight across. I need to make a right angle. I'm going to go up here. Up through this bead. There we go. Okay, now I'm in the right position with my thread. It can make a right angle to finish the two sides of this square, which are going to be pink and blue. There's going to be my square is going to be this way, and I want to make a right angle, and I need to go into this pink bead right here to finish this square. If I went into this pink bead, it would finish my square, but it wouldn't line up right because it's part of this square. I want it part of this square. So I'm going to go up through this pink bead. Ta-da, ta-da. And now I'm coming right out in the middle of my design. That's not so swell. We just go through right angle ways, using right angles to come out to the square we want to work on. And you can see with this kind of technique too, you could make any shape you wanted. It wouldn't have to be a rectangle. Maybe it's a rectangle with some legs on it. Maybe fringes. Fill up the holes with more beads. So many ways to embellish this. Get a book on right angle weave. There's so many good ideas. Again, I don't want to put on my square here because that would not hide this thread well. I'm going to make my right angle weave, right angle through there to hide the thread as much as possible. Right angle through here. Keeping everything tight. And I am in position to finish this last square with a blue and a pink. And back down through here. Now I've got choices. Where do I want my next square? Do I want it coming out here? Do I want to come out here and make a different shape? I can do anything I want. But as long as I hide the thread and think of squares, you are good to go with all the different ways you can use right angle weave, as wide as you want, as interestingly shaped as you want, as fine or as big as you want. Again, you can see here, if I were to make a square here, I couldn't go straight across because that would not hide this thread. I have to go down and hide the thread. And make the square for my third row here. So there you have it. Right angle weave. Fine, delicate, broad, whatever you want, single strand, all sorts of shapes. Just remember, make squares and hide your thread. Thanks for joining us at the Fire Mountain Gems and Beads Jewelry Making Studio. Happy beading!